going on, everybody? Josh from the lab here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the search warrant that has been sealed by a judge in the Idaho 4 case. And it's interesting. Typically, like I said, all of these documents are usually public and people are allowed to see them. However, especially in these high profile cases, the ones that the media picks up on, social media picks up on, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, so on and so forth, I believe that they are catching on to the trend of less is more, keep everything out of the public eye. And they've probably seen what's going on in other cases and specifically made it a concerted effort to just keep everything under wraps. They don't want anything coming from the search warrant, any names, any situations coming out, because what will happen is media and social media will indeed pounce on any name at any time and try to get a story. And what that does is that compromises the investigation. Now, you saw what happened with Dylan Mortensen in the affidavit. Now, in my personal opinion, they could have redacted that to the public, and that way they could have saved maybe this humiliation or this witch hunt that some have chosen to go on and to try to crucify a victim. I've seen comments in my videos saying, stop referring to her or the surviving roommates as victims. I'm not going to do that because that's what they are. Now, and plus, I don't placate to weirdos, freaks, and insensitive people just because they don't see things the way that I see them. Now, they're welcome, or you're welcome to call her whatever you want, but I just know that it will probably make you look like, not such a nice, kind, thoughtful person. But that's up to you. Now, if you look here in an article from crimeonline.com, it says Bryan Kohbergers' apartment warrant sealed amid threat to public safety. Now, what exactly does that mean? Could it be the social media aspect of this? Yes. Could it mean that Bryan may or may not have had some sort of, manifesto or, wall portraits of the victims, like a shrine, all of these things are possible. I don't know if that's the case or not. And they don't want the public to have any knowledge. They don't want the public. They don't want the media. They don't want anybody knowing anything about the search warrant. And I think that's a trend that we're going to see continually going forward with high-profile cases. You see the people that are mad about it are the people that like to get too involved in cases. And it's quite frankly a good move by the judge. So the Daily Mail reports that the court has sealed the search warrant as the contents of the search warrant pose a threat to public safety and the privacy of witnesses, victims, and victims' families' names on the affidavit. We saw how well that worked out for poor Dylan Mortensen. And then premature public disclosure of the details of this law enforcement investigation will create a serious and imminent threat to law enforcement and could result in a premature end of this investigation, the document also said. And just a week before that, a gag order was issued by law enforcement. They are locking this case down. They don't want anybody getting in the way. The judge, the prosecution, the defense, they want everybody to not have that information for a reason. Now, like I said, what did they find during that search? Something. And the information in it poses a threat to law enforcement to do their job effectively, to witnesses. And I believe, personally, the threat is us, social media. Thank you for listening.